Elon is fired up again, and this time it's about a star that's been catching the eyes of astronomers, Betelgeuse. The James Webb telescope just detected a sudden 250% increase in the brightness of this massive red supergiant, and Elon's already talking about what this could mean. Betelgeuse, a star 700 times bigger than our sun, might be gearing up for something big, maybe even a supernova. Elon, who's always thinking about humanity's future in space, is keeping a close eye on this. Actually, he has raised many concerns about what is happening. But what is Elon so worried about, and how could this event change Elon's vision for humanity's future? Part 1. Betelgeuse, a star on the verge of explosion. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and noticed that bright reddish star hanging in the constellation of Orion? That's Betelgeuse, one of the most famous stars out there, and it's got astronomers buzzing again. Recently, the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, detected something wild happening with Betelgeuse. Its brightness suddenly shot up by a whopping 250%. Just imagine a star that already shines so brightly suddenly glowing even more fiercely, almost like it's preparing for something big. If you're into space at all, this is pretty exciting stuff, and if there's anyone who's probably keeping a close eye on it, it's got to be Elon Musk. Elon, with his dreams of taking humanity to Mars, always seems to have his eyes fixed on the stars, and Betelgeuse is no exception. I mean, we're talking about a star that's in its final stages of life, and this massive increase in brightness might just be a sign that Betelgeuse is getting ready for the ultimate finale, a supernova. That's when a star like Betelgeuse explodes in a colossal burst of energy, which would be a once-in-a-lifetime event for us Earthlings. Now, let's take a moment to really think about Betelgeuse. It's a red supergiant, which basically means it's massive, about 700 times the diameter of our sun. Just think about that for a second. If you placed Betelgeuse in the center of our solar system, it would engulf the orbits of Mercury, Venus, Earth, and even Mars. That's how huge it is. And because it's so massive, Betelgeuse is nearing the end of its life. Stars like Betelgeuse burn through their fuel much faster than smaller stars, and when they get old, they start doing unpredictable things like suddenly getting brighter. This isn't the first time Betelgeuse has acted a little strange. In recent years, it's been going through phases of dimming and brightening, but nothing quite like this. A 250% increase in brightness is like Betelgeuse saying, "Hey, something big is about to happen." And the fact that the JWST, with its cutting-edge infrared technology, caught this in real time is huge. It's allowing scientists to peer through the dust and gas surrounding Betelgeuse and get a closer look at what's going on. The big question on everyone's mind is whether this brightness surge is a precursor to a supernova. Now, the idea of a supernova happening in our galaxy is a big deal. It's not just because it's rare, though that's part of it. Supernovas are some of the most dramatic events in the universe. When a star as massive as Betelgeuse explodes, it releases an enormous amount of energy, enough to outshine entire galaxies for a short period of time. If Betelgeuse were to go supernova, it would be visible from Earth even during the day. Imagine looking up and seeing a star so bright that it rivals the full moon. It would be a cosmic event for the ages. The thing is, Betelgeuse is about 642.5 light-years away from Earth, which means that even if it were to go supernova, we're safe. We wouldn't be in any danger from the explosion. But we'd get front-row seats to one of the universe's most spectacular shows. And this is where Elon Musk comes into the picture again. Elon has always been a big proponent of exploring the universe and making humanity a multiplanetary species. Events like a potential Betelgeuse supernova only fuel that sense of wonder and exploration. It reminds us just how much we don't know about the cosmos and how much more there is to discover. What's fascinating is that scientists have been expecting Betelgeuse to go supernova at some point within the next 100,000 years. Now, that might sound like a long time, but in terms of the lifespan of a star, it's just around the corner. This sudden increase in brightness could mean that Betelgeuse is entering the final stages of its life cycle and that a supernova could happen sooner rather than later. Of course, stars, especially red supergiants like Betelgeuse, are notoriously unpredictable. Just because it's brightening doesn't mean it's going to explode tomorrow, but it does mean we need to pay attention. One of the reasons why Betelgeuse has been so difficult to predict is that it's a very turbulent star. As it nears the end of its life, its core is running out of fuel, and that creates a lot of instability inside the star. There's a constant battle going on between gravity, which is trying to collapse the star, and the nuclear reactions that are trying to push outward. This instability can lead to massive convective cells, or bubbles of hot gas rising from the core to the surface, which could explain why Betelgeuse suddenly got so much brighter. It's like the star is burping out huge amounts of energy. Another theory is that Betelgeuse has shed a significant amount of mass, and what we're seeing is the result of a massive stellar eruption. Stars like Betelgeuse often lose mass in the form of gas and dust, and when that material interacts with the light from the star, it can cause it to appear brighter. We've seen Betelgeuse dim before, and some scientists believe that dimming was caused by a cloud of dust blocking part of the star's light. This latest brightening could be the opposite effect, new material being ejected from the star and illuminated by its intense light. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Some scientists think that the increase in brightness might be related to changes in Betelgeuse's magnetic field. The star's magnetic activity is still somewhat of a mystery, but if its magnetic field is undergoing changes, it could affect how energy is transported through the star. That, in turn, could lead to these sudden fluctuations in brightness. It's just another reminder of how complex and dynamic these massive stars are.
The James Webb Space Telescope has been a game-changer in this whole situation. Its infrared capabilities allow it to see through the thick layers of gas and dust surrounding Betelgeuse, giving us a much clearer picture of what's happening on the star's surface. With the JWST, scientists are not only able to monitor the star's brightness but also study the material it's ejecting. This is providing crucial data that could help us understand more about the final stages of a red supergiant's life and perhaps even give us a better idea of when Betelgeuse might finally go supernova. And let's not forget, Elon Musk has always been about pushing the boundaries of what we know. Whether it's sending rockets to Mars or talking about colonizing other planets, Musk is deeply invested in the future of space exploration. Discoveries like this one from the JWST only serve to fuel that passion. Musk has often spoken about the importance of becoming a multiplanetary species and understanding how stars live and die is a key part of that. After all, the elements that make up planets and even life itself are forged in the hearts of stars like Betelgeuse. When a star goes supernova, it spreads those elements out into space, potentially seeding the formation of new planets and stars. So what's next for Betelgeuse? That's the big question. Scientists will continue to monitor the star closely, looking for any signs that it might be gearing up for a supernova. The 250% increase in brightness is definitely a major development, but as we've learned, Betelgeuse is full of surprises. Whether this is just another phase in its long, unpredictable life or the prelude to something much bigger, we're in for an exciting ride. Part 2. The role of the James Webb Space Telescope in unraveling the mystery. It's like the star is sending out a cosmic flare saying, "Hey, look at me." But what's really fascinating is that while we're all sitting here on Earth looking up at it, this might actually be Betelgeuse's way of hinting at something bigger brewing deep inside. Now, I know Elon Musk is a guy who's always thinking about what's next. He's the type to be more excited about the why than the what. Sure, the fact that Betelgeuse just brightened by 250% is a jaw-dropper, but it's the implications of this that really get the gears turning, especially for people like Elon who are always pushing the boundaries of space exploration and knowledge. The idea that a supernova might be on the horizon, that's a game changer. If you're into space, and let's face it, with the way SpaceX is going, who isn't? This isn't just a random event in some far-off galaxy. This is the kind of thing that astronomers have been waiting to witness for ages. We've read about supernovae in textbooks, but to see one happen live, that's something else. And when it comes to Betelgeuse, a star that's already burned bright in our night sky for millennia, this could be the closest thing to cosmic fireworks we'll ever witness in our lifetimes. But before we start booking our seats for the great cosmic explosion, let's talk about what exactly is going on with Betelgeuse right now. We mentioned earlier that this brightness increase could be a sign of a convective cell, a massive bubble of gas rising from within the star. This isn't some small puff of air either. We're talking about gigantic waves of plasma thousands of times the size of Earth rolling through the star's surface. It's like Betelgeuse is having internal storms, and they're throwing off an incredible amount of energy. Imagine the kind of data that Elon Musk's team at SpaceX and Tesla could crunch from such an event. I can just picture Elon pulling out one of his famous Twitter threads, breaking down the energy release in terms of how many Tesla cars it could power. But more than that, it's the way Betelgeuse is behaving that's keeping scientists on their toes. They've got their instruments trained on it, trying to figure out if this burst in brightness is part of a larger cycle or if we're seeing the beginning of the end. Here's another angle that makes this whole thing even more thrilling. Betelgeuse is a red supergiant, meaning it's already in the late stages of its life. Stars like this have very short lifespans compared to smaller stars like our Sun. They burn through their fuel quickly, and when they reach the end they go out with a bang, literally. That explosion, known as a supernova, is one of the most powerful events in the universe. When it happens, it doesn't just end the life of a star, it gives birth to new elements, new planets, and even new stars. This brings us back to one of Elon's key visions, the interconnection of everything in the universe. He's often talked about the importance of exploring space, not just for survival, but for the sheer knowledge of understanding where we come from and where we're going. Supernovae, like the one Betelgeuse might be preparing for, are essentially the universe's recycling program. They spread elements that can form new stars and planets, which eventually could support life. Without supernovae, we wouldn't have the elements that make up Earth or us. This increase in brightness has sparked a lot of debate among astronomers. Some are wondering if Betelgeuse is preparing to shed a significant amount of mass, which would add to the cloud of gas and dust already surrounding it. Betelgeuse has been losing mass for centuries. Think of it as a slow and steady exhale. But what if it's about to really blow off some steam? That could explain the sudden jump in brightness as the material around the star interacts with its light, giving us a brief glimpse into the star's next big act. Others are looking at Betelgeuse's magnetic field. Magnetic fields in stars, especially massive ones like Betelgeuse, are still something of a mystery, but there's a growing belief that changes in its magnetic activity could be responsible for the dramatic surge in brightness. Think of it like the star's internal engine suddenly revving up, sending more energy toward its outer layers and causing it to glow more intensely. Whatever the cause, we're witnessing something extraordinary. Just like Elon Musk is always thinking about the big picture, we can't help but wonder what this means for the future of space exploration. We're at a point where our technology is finally advanced enough to catch these cosmic events in real time. The James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, has given us a front-row seat to the action, allowing scientists to gather data they could only dream of a few years ago. The JWST's infrared capabilities are especially important in this case because they allow us to see through the thick clouds of gas and dust that surround Betelgeuse. It's like having X-ray vision, and it's letting scientists get an unprecedented look at the star's surface and what's happening beneath it. This is where Musk's vision for the future of humanity comes into play. By understanding more about the life cycles of stars, we're not just learning about the universe's past, we're also setting the stage for our future. Events like Betelgeuse's potential supernova remind us of how much we still don't know and how important it is to keep exploring. Who knows what new technologies or insights could come from studying the star's final days? Maybe this is the kind of event that sparks a new wave of innovation, pushing us even further toward becoming a spacefaring civilization. And let's not forget the sheer wonder of it all. Imagine a star 700 times the size of our Sun potentially exploding in a supernova and lighting up our skies. It's the kind of thing that brings people together, uniting us under the same sky, all staring up in awe. Even Elon, who's so focused on looking ahead, would probably take a moment to just appreciate the magnitude of it. In the meantime, we wait and watch Betelgeuse closely, studying its every move and wondering what's next. It's like being on the edge of your seat during a movie, knowing something huge is about to happen but not exactly sure when. That's part of the thrill, isn't it? Asterisk asterisk. We don't know when Betelgeuse will go supernova, but we do know it's coming eventually. Whether it's in a few years or another thousand, the fact that we're this close to witnessing it is incredible in itself. And you can be sure Elon Musk will be watching too. He's already got one eye on Mars, but with events like this unfolding in real time, who wouldn't want to take a moment to appreciate the mysteries of the universe? Whether it's Betelgeuse going supernova or humans stepping foot on another planet, one thing's for sure. The universe is a pretty exciting place right now. Asterisk asterisk. Part 3. Could Betelgeuse's brightness surge signal an impending supernova? At this point, you've probably got a good sense that something big is happening with Betelgeuse. The 250% increase in brightness is no small thing. It's like the star is trying to get our attention and we're all ears. I can imagine Elon Musk, the guy who's always looking to the stars, being particularly excited about this. After all, Betelgeuse is offering us a rare, perhaps once-in-a-lifetime chance to witness the final act of a supergiant star. For Musk, who's all about making humanity a spacefaring species, this kind of event only reinforces the importance of understanding what's going on out there in the universe. But before we jump to conclusions about whether this brightness surge means Betelgeuse is about to go supernova, it's important to consider that stars like Betelgeuse are unpredictable. They go through phases of instability which can sometimes be confusing or misleading. Right now, scientists are on high alert, collecting as much data as they can. And thanks to JWST, they've got some of the best tools at their disposal. Remember, Betelgeuse is a red supergiant, and stars like this are known for their erratic behavior. They expand and contract, shed mass, and go through massive convective events that can cause their brightness to fluctuate wildly. We're talking about processes on a scale that's hard to even comprehend. These stars are so large that it's almost impossible for us to fully grasp the dynamics going on inside them. Just think about this. Betelgeuse is around 700 times the size of the Sun. That's a staggering size difference, and it gives you some idea of just how much power and energy are at play here. Now imagine being able to see all of this unfold in real time. The idea that Betelgeuse could potentially go supernova during our lifetime, that's the kind of thing that doesn't just capture the attention of scientists. It captivates the entire world. It would be the most significant cosmic event visible from Earth in centuries. The last supernova that was visible to the naked eye was in 1604, that was more than 400 years ago. Can you even picture what it would be like to look up at the sky and see a star so bright that it's visible during the day? Betelgeuse going supernova would outshine the full moon for weeks. It's the kind of event that would make history, something people would talk about for generations. But let's be clear, we're not saying that Betelgeuse is guaranteed to explode tomorrow. Stars like this can simmer in a pre-supernova state for thousands of years. That's one of the challenges with predicting supernovae. They can show all the signs that they're about to blow but then take their sweet time. So, while the brightness increase is certainly exciting, we've got to keep in mind that Betelgeuse could still be in this phase for quite a while. But even if it doesn't explode anytime soon, the data we're collecting right now is invaluable. This brings me back to Elon Musk and the broader implications for space exploration. The more we learn about these massive stars, the more we understand about the universe's life cycles. Supernovae are responsible for creating the heavy elements that form planets and even life itself. Without these massive star explosions, there would be no carbon, no oxygen, no iron, essentially no us. When you think about it like that, it's hard not to feel a deep sense of connection to the cosmos. We're all made of star stuff after all. And here's where it gets really interesting from a futuristic perspective. If Betelgeuse does go supernova, it's going to release an enormous amount of energy as well as a wealth of elements into the interstellar medium. In fact, supernovae are crucial for seeding the universe with the building blocks for new stars and planets. This process, known as stellar nucleosynthesis, is how we get the elements necessary for life. So, in a sense, the death of a star is also the birth of something new. Elon Musk has always talked about the importance of multiplanetary life, about how humanity needs to expand beyond Earth to ensure our long-term survival. Events like Betelgeuse's potential supernova remind us of just how interconnected the universe is. The death of a star can spark the creation of new worlds. The elements released by these explosions can go on to form the very planets we might one day call home. It's a cosmic cycle, and we're just starting to truly understand how it works. This is where space technology, like what we're seeing with the James Webb Space Telescope, becomes so crucial. JWST is a window into these processes, allowing us to peer deeper into the universe than ever before. Imagine what future generations of telescopes and space missions might be able to uncover. As Musk continues to push forward with SpaceX, building rockets like Starship that are capable of taking humans to Mars and beyond, it's not hard to see how events like Betelgeuse's brightness surge will continue to inspire humanity's quest to explore the cosmos. But let's take a step back for a moment. I want you to picture what it would be like to be on Mars maybe 50 years from now, standing in one of the domed cities that Musk envisions, and looking up at the sky. Imagine Betelgeuse going supernova from the surface of another planet. It's a mind-blowing thought, but it's not that far-fetched. The data we're gathering now could be the foundation for future explorations, for a deeper understanding of the life cycles of stars, and for unlocking the mysteries of the universe. Of course, while Betelgeuse's potential supernova is the headline event, we also need to talk about the broader significance of studying stars like this. Red supergiants are rare, and their behavior is still not fully understood. The more we observe Betelgeuse, the better we'll get at predicting how these massive stars evolve and die. This knowledge could help us understand other stars that might be on the brink of supernova in our galaxy or even in nearby galaxies. And who knows, that might be critical information as humanity expands its footprint into the stars. There's something poetic about all of this, don't you think? Here we are in the 21st century with technology that lets us watch a star's last moments in real time. And while we might not fully understand everything that's happening inside Betelgeuse right now, we're closer than we've ever been. Whether it's a massive convective cell causing this brightness surge or something else entirely, the fact that we're even able to have these conversations is remarkable. And for Elon Musk, who's all about pushing boundaries and exploring new frontiers, Betelgeuse's behavior is probably another reminder that there's so much more to discover. Whether it's Mars, the moons of Jupiter, or the stars themselves, there's no shortage of mysteries out there waiting to be solved. And with events like this one, we're reminded that the universe is full of surprises, even in our own galactic neighborhood.